off the Gulf Coast of Pensacola, Florida. We're about under 8 minutes away from qualifying, and we welcome you to coverage on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. I'm Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Adam Flieger, as well as a new up-and-coming iRacing broadcaster, Daniel Paulus Jr. We'll be on the call for you off and on every Tuesday night with coverage of this event. Adam, I know a lot of people are very hyped up and excited for this new Pultz Poppers late model stock car series. Your thoughts, my friend?
My thoughts are it should be a great evening of racing. Little short track here. If I'm not mistaken, always enjoy watching the bumping and rubbing that goes on with short track racing. Should be a fun event. I know a lot of people. I believe these are the new cars, are they not?
They are. They're the new late model stocks that are going to be unveiled with the new car store update from a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to be exciting and fun. Daniel Paulus Jr. joins us as well for the coverage. Daniel, are you ready to see what this series will provide? Welcome to Pensacola.
Yeah, thanks for having me here at Pensacola. It's going to be an awesome race. I can't wait to watch these drivers bump and bang into each other, and I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, it should be exciting and fun as, again, we're ready to see what this provides for, again, this new era for the NASRA 360 Racing Network with the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. We're about 6 minutes away from getting qualifying underway. The numbers are picking up. Let's take a look at your weather conditions as, again, 76 degrees at the virtual Pensacola, Florida, 3-mile-per-hour wind speed up to 4, partly cloudy skies. And the track temperature, Adam, is 125 degrees. That is almost 50 degrees warmer than the ambient air temperature. What's that going to be like for the car? And definitely tires.
Honestly, I'm more of a dirt guy, and I don't really pay attention to track temp, considering dirt doesn't really play a whole better effect with the weather. So, if somebody that's more of a asphalt person might be able to answer that question a little better.
Well, I'll answer it for everybody. I was trying to give you, pardon the pun, a little bit more airtime. Daniel, do you know the answer to what I was just asking, my friend?
No, I do not, but I can't wait to hear this one.
Strike out and a miss. Here we go. So the warm air temperatures, obviously track temperature 50 degrees warmer. This is going to be really making this track slick. It's going to be definitely crucial on the handling, on the setup. Who hits it right is going to be probably the man we'll talk to in victory lane. And most of all, tires. It's going to really make these drivers really fight loose handling conditions with this warm 50-degree air temperature or track temperature besides the air temperature. No doubt about it. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We're under 5 minutes away from the qualifying clock to debut qualifying here. Drivers are currently going through the drivers' meeting in preparation for this event. And again, we are ready to go. This is, again, round number 1 here tonight for the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. And again, we're glad you're here. This will be every Tuesday night. Now, I will let you know here tonight, we'll be off next week, come back the following week, and then about 2 or 3 weeks from now, after we finish up about a month of play, then I'll be able to carry you as play-by-play man for the rest of the season for sure. And then, of course, don't forget you got the Monday night program with the awesome over-the-top designs, Sim Racer Hub, truck series, and then, of course, the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series on Friday night. Take your pick of all of these great things going on. And again, NASRA Racing on social media where you can join us as we're closing in on 4 minutes away. Daniel, let everybody know a little bit about yourself, your racing background, and how excited are you to be working with the NASRA 360 Racing Network, DPJ?
Yeah, so my name's Dan. I'm currently 18 years old. I am really soon to graduate high school. I started out as a driver in iRacing, and I used to race the legend cars, and I would work my way up all the way up to the truck series, and then after I've been racing for a while, I was like, I need something to change. I need a little time off. So then I got this opportunity, and this was a different network. It was Bluegrass, and they gave me the opportunity to broadcast a race. And once I did that, I found it out that broadcasting was the right thing for me. I really enjoyed watching the race more and giving the people the in-depth of the race, where the driver's doing, what's going on throughout the race. And now that I am getting in contact with different networks, and especially you guys, I am very excited to get this opportunity with you, and I can't wait to have a good season and watch these great races.
All right. Well, Adam, we're ready to see what these drivers will provide for the late models. We're about 2.5 minutes away from going on track. By the way, I want to give a shout out also to Cody Dodd, of course, the man that is working on the broadcast and the man that is commander-in-chief of creating the madness that is the Pultz Poppers late model stock car series. And, of course, the president of NASRA is Mr. Brady LaBeouf. But, Adam, it's a different role for you. Normally you work a lot in the production side of things.
Yeah, normally I do run the production side, which I must give a shout out to Cody for doing that tonight. Running his own his own series. I think he's got the full control of this one, but I'm not positive on that. But yeah, I normally behind cameras, and to top a little bit about what Daniel was saying there about himself. Now I got into iRacing here about 2 years ago, started on track. I um, ended up being okay on the track, but with my vision, I'm actually blind on my left side, so I ended up getting dubbed the nickname of One Eye Wonder. So I'm sure the drivers enjoy seeing me in the booth rather than on the track.
All right, well, we'll see how all this transpires as we're about 80 seconds away from drivers going on track and getting ready to qualify. There is right now close to 15 entries is what I'm being told. Race director, by the way, is TJ Moore. And we're getting you set to go. We're about a minute away from qualifying. We'll step away when we come back. We're on track next. This is the Pultz Poppers NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. We're qualifying when we return. Welcome back to the virtual Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola. Back to coverage as we're getting ready for qualifying with a little hint extra. It's not qualifying like going up against the clock. They're heat racing. And that should be very, very exciting and fun. We'll watch these drivers get ready to go for their heat races. It looks like it's going to be broken down into 2 heats. Heat number 1, let's give you the starting lineup on the pole. It's going to be the man, of course, of Brett Tucker in the number 99. He's on the pole to the outside. Trey Pitts in the car number 21. Row number 2 is going to find Nathan Rogue in the number 91. Dwayne Crowder in the number 55. Dwayne Crowder. Nicholas Maynard is in the 33. John Michael Bryant in the 29. He'll start 6th and shotgun on the field. The number 17, and that is going to be Brandon Bullock. We're getting ready for the field to go here for 15 laps in heat race number 1. 15 laps to distance, getting everybody in a position here, and we'll get ready to see how all this shakes out for these drivers again for the new Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. Here tonight at Five Flags Speedway, the home of the Snowball Derby in December and the Snowflake 100. And again, these late model drivers are ready to go here in another lap. They're going to bring the pace car out of the pit lane, Adam, and we're going to get ready to go to green. They're 1 to go at the line this time by.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun evening here as we see with the heat racing. That's a little bit more my format. I don't really do a whole lot of qualifying, on the dirt side as much as got to make sure that heat race plays in your favor. Got to really watch your lines and get a good finish to put you through into a decent starting position for that main feature.
Ready to get everybody into place here. Obviously, ready to go for heat number 1. By the way, this will set the lineup for the inside of the 150-lap feature coming up here later tonight. The pace car, lights are off. It drops onto the pit lane, peels in behind pit wall. Here comes the field off turn 4. Green flag in the air. We're underway. Heat number 1. 8 laps the distance, by the way. I think I said 15. It's 8 laps. Daniel, that means you got to get on the wheel and you got to go in a hurry.
Yeah, it means you don't want to waste any time here. That means you want to be up in the front. You want to try to get around the leader as fast as possible. But you don't want to overcook those tires, because if you do, that is going to cost you for the lead and this win in the heat.
Top 6 advance into the feature from the heat race. Right now, the man of the bubble is going to be the driver of Mr. Pitts, Trey Pitts. Outside looking in, Bullock. Right now, they're coming off of turn number 4. 1 lap in. Now put 2 laps on the board, and it is course Rhett Tucker out in front. Adam, he has got a big lead, and that Advanced Auto Parts 99 down the back straightaway by 2 car lengths.
Yeah, Red Tucker is definitely, Red Tucker. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my names right here in this series. I am in so much work around the Nazareth scene so much. Red Tucker is definitely out front, looking comfortable, as it looks like that is the number 33 dropping back a position.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker again, the RTR Esports number 99, the man that's leading the way right now over the driver of Nathan Rogue. And Nathan Rogue, of course, in the RTR Esports. That's teammates right there, 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Behind him is Crowder, Dwayne Crowder, and currently on the racetrack, of course, comfortably sitting there in the number 3 position. And as we mentioned, of course, the driver on the bubble is still Trey Pitts. We're halfway home. Daniel, 4 down and 4 to go, and it's all Tucker in the early going leading.
Yeah, Tucker holding off the pack here strong. Been running really well here with just 3 to go. I think he's got this race win secure, but you don't count out the 91 in second place there.
Yeah, just got to hold on and be patient. Nathan Rogue, by the way, teammate, again, the RTR Space machine of Rhett Tucker. And right now, the field works their way to the back straightaway. They're going to work their way off of turn number 4. And the orange and yellow number 99 is going to fly under the flag stand and see the white flag. 1 more lap to go here in heat number 1 for the Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Series. And right now, it is the driver of the number 99, Rhett Tucker, holding off everyone at bay, works into turn number 3 and 4, lock up the pole as he wins heat number 1. Rhett Tucker getting the win over Nathan Rogue, his teammate. Dwayne Crowder is going to be 3rd. John Michael Bryant 4th. Nicholas Maynard is 5th. Finally, 6th place crosses the line of Trey Pitts. Those drivers transfer. Bullock will have to go to one of the last chance qualifiers to try to make it in later. Well, the end of heat number 1 again, going to the driver of the 99 of Rhett Tucker. Field will get reset now, and Adam, we'll get ready for heat race number 2 as the field gets gridded. Another 8-lap heat race. Won't you go ahead, my friend, and give them the starting lineup as they're gridding?
All right. Well, in row number 1, we got Stephen Thomas, and to his outside, that's going to be Steve Barnett. In row number 2, you're going to have Martin Huntsman Jr., and Robert Richards there to his outside. Row 3, you're going to see Scott Griffin in the number 24 and Eric Thornton there in the number 5. Row number 4, rounding out the field will be the 01 of TJ Morez. Looks like we're gridded up and ready to go.
Yeah, the field is gridded. We'll get ready to get them set here as 7 drivers again in heat race number 1. 7 in heat number 2 are ready to go here. And again, this will set up the outside lane. Daniel, what's your take of the heat race of 1 and what we think we'll see in the second heat?
Yeah, so what we saw in heat 1, it looked like the 99 of Tucker. You know, he got a good restart on the start of that race. And that's what you want to do. You want to get a good start in the start of the race, because you don't know if there's going to be a caution. This race flies by really fast. So if you could get the lead and hold on to the lead, that is good start.
Got to remember that scenario. To first win the race, you must first finish. That is true to its core as the field will get ready to come back to the starter's box here. 1 to go at the line. And we'll try this again here. Stephen Thomas ready to go along with Barnett as these drivers get into place, ready to go. And again, Stephen Thomas Never count out that driver. Driver, the number 23 machine, of course, Stephen Thomas. And the driver, of course, in the Sick With It Motorsports entry. Jeff Sickles, by the way, the man behind the swim team. We'll see how things go as the field is set. By the way, we're missing a couple of drivers at top 5. They just played ice, and Adam, they're going to go on to the show. It's a couple of drivers did not start. Green flag in the air. We're underway in heat race number 2 here at Pensacola.
That's one thing I wanted to mention was as we see them getting single file here, getting all sorted out, going down into turn 3 already, as this is a short track coming around to complete lap number 1. But with the heat races, if we do not have the car count to warrant a LCQ or what we call a last chance qualifier, all drivers will go ahead and go right into the main feature. So we might not see a LCQ this evening.
Yeah, that might be the smart thing, Daniel, is if you already know there's no need to run the heat race, maybe you got to make some adjustments or setup or changes. Maybe you're setting your car for the long run to go from the back to the front. That might be what the plan is if we do not have a last chance qualifier. Or as what we call in the dirt racing world, Adam Flieger, a B main. But yeah, for sure, right now, Daniel, everybody playing Calm Cool Collective and just getting this glorified practice session, if you will.
Yeah, and these heat races are basically just like a practice race. You know, you want to figure out where your car is. You want to see if it's right. You don't want to be too tight. You want to be too loose. And you want to set your car up for a long run, like you said, because if you don't have these cautions, then you must have a car that is good during these long runs.
Yeah, right now, again, the driver, of course, of Stephen Thomas out in front. Steve Barnett in the number 2 position, followed by the 20 machine of Huntsman. They're 1, 2, and 3 on track as the laps continue to tick down. Again, the driver, Stephen Thomas, in that 23 machine. Barnett right there behind them, and they are right there just kind of being patient, if you will, as they come to the line. We're halfway home, and we're coming to 3 to go now. Adam Flieger back to turn number 1 and 2. Again, as I said, just enjoy this opportunity to fill your car out for the feature.
That's pretty much it. Just get that car. Make sure you really like the setup, because you're going to be stuck with it tonight for 150 laps in the main feature. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable on there under that wheel of that car. I remember
Hold that thought, Adam. They're working their way into turn number 3 and 4, and they're going to come to the checkered flag, and swim number 23, Stephen Thomas, is going to pick up the win here in heat race number 2. And that will, again, give the driver of the number swim machine the heat race win. By the way, the number 42 for Animal House Racing, Steve Barnett, will settle for second. Everyone else will have to prepare now for what will be the 150 lap feature. Before we give the lineup real quickly, Adam Flieger, wrap up that thought you were giving us, bud.
Well, the thought I had was with your setup. I remember Earnhardt Sr. saying to, I forget who it was on the grid, I'll see you in so many laps, because somebody qualified way up front, and he ended up towards the back, but he knew he was comfortable with his setup. That's kind of the thing with these heat races that you're trying to duplicate.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the history-making first feature race for the Pultz Poppers NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series. Let's give you the starting lineup of the 150-lap event here at Five Flags Speedway, presented by NRE Power Systems. Blake Lothian is on the pole in the number 59 from Virginia. To the outside, Adam Newbert in the number 4. Row number 2. Rhett Tucker in the 99, Stephen Thomas in the 23. By the way, those are your heat race winners, but there was an invert. Nathan Rogue and Steve Barnett make up row number 3. Row 4, Dwayne Crowder in the 55. Martin Huntsman Jr. is row number 4, starting 8th, Adam, as we're halfway through the lineup.
All right, so where'd you leave off at here? I'm
Row 5.
Row 5, we got starting inside. That is going to be the 29 of John Michael Bryant. To his outside is Scott Griffin in that number 24. Row number 6, that's going to be Nicholas Maynards in the number 33. And Robert Richards to his outside in that number 48. Row 7, we're going to have the 21 of Trey Pitts. To his outside is Eric Thornton. Row 8 is Brandon Bullock in the number 17 and TJ Morez in the 01. That should be the rounding out of the field.
So, All of this going on as the lineups are set. Ready for this history-making race. The NRE Power Systems 150, round number 1 of what is the Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. The green flag is in the air. We are ready to go here at Five Flags Speedway, and you have a virtual race in Pensacola. Well, I'll tell you what, DPJ, the first thing you got to do, you have got to pace yourself. This is a long race, 150 laps. Though it seems like a lot, it can fly by on a half mile if they can really knock off these laps fast.
Yeah, I mean, these laps can fly by in a matter of no time, you know. You want to work your way up towards the front. You know your time's going to be flying by. You're not going to have a lot of time. It seems like you're going to have a lot of time, but it really isn't when you're racing out on the track. But as you see the 99 of Tucker, really strong there, holding the lead here as you see the 4 in second place.
Tucker, the leader here in the early going. Adam Newbert now right there in second, the driver for Swim out of Toccoa, Georgia. And Adam, I know you've worked on the producing side of a lot of those race wins that the number 4 have had. But right now he sits comfortably in that number 2 spot. You got Barnett for Animal House Racing right behind him, and they settle themselves in for these opening laps.
Yeah, they're definitely settling in with already 5 laps in the books. As we come off of turn 2 there, I got to make sure that I don't get looped around here as we're watching the number 42 of Steve Barnett there in 3rd position. I wouldn't I wouldn't, really count either one of those 2 drivers out as they're chasing down that 99 of Rhett Tucker.
Right now, again, the driver is Rhett Tucker leading. There's that Advanced Auto Parts entry, number 99 from Memphis, Tennessee, the RTR Esports entry. He's got, again, Newbert right behind him in flanks, as well as Barnett, Crowder, and Rogue. Top 5 are single file. And again, Daniel, there's starting to be a lot of massive cloud cover over the racetrack. This could really help on the handling of these cars as well.
It really can, with the change in weather here during the track, when the sun's out and it's hot, it makes your tires slick. It makes you a little loose throughout this track. But now that we're getting some cloud cover and it's going to be heading towards the opposite direction like that. And as you see, the 99 of Tucker, he's getting pressure now from the 4 and 42 as they're closing in.
And again, right now, we're watching again Tucker still continue to hold on to that top spot as, again, Cody Knott working on the production side of things. Of course, Adam Fleeger's at the house, Daniel Paulus Jr. I'm Wesley Outland, round number 1 of the NASRA Racing Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Series as they work their way back into turn number 2 at the virtual Five Flags Speedway. We're 10 in of 150 laps. And here's what's so cool about it. No stages, no cautions at random times, if you will. Just straight up racing. Get out here, see who's got the best car, and hands down right now on lap number 10 of this race with 140 to go in the early going, Adam Fleeger. It is the 99 of Rhett Tucker, hands down the man that's up in front.
Rhett Tucker is definitely out in front, but that 4 Adam Newbert seems to be gaining on him a little bit each lap. And like you were saying, with this being a 150-lap race, no stages, the pit strategy is going to be a little different than what some of these drivers are used to.
They certainly are as they work their way across the start-finish line again. Lap number 12 of 150. By the way, on the top right of the broadcast, you see a lot of scrolling partners for NASRA going across the screen. Thank you for all of them and their continued support, like M1 Race Cars, Butt Kicker, Sim Racer Hub, Over the Top Designs, and of course, Pultz Poppers, the official sponsor of the new NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series, is right now we are working in the early going. 14 laps when they come to the line. Daniel, it is now Adam Newbert getting around Tucker. He's the new leader in the number 4.
As you see, Adam Newbert heading into turn 2 down the back straightaway. Now, here's what we're all thinking. Now that we saw Tucker out in the lead for those first 13 laps, do you think he used up his tire wear by trying to hold off the 4 a little early in this race? Or do you think he was just struggling with his handling and now the 4 is making his way up to the front, is controlling this lead?
Yeah, we're certainly keeping an eye on that right now, buddy, as you're on board now with the driver, the number 99, Rhett Tucker. He is the driver up in front. And all the while, he is hitting his marks. Newbert now with Tucker 1 and 2. Barnett for Animal House 1, 2, and 3. Dwayne Crowder in the double nickel number 55. He currently sits in the top 5 and 4th, followed by the driver of Nathan Rogue in the 91. Of course, also for RTR Esports in the top 5. So you got 2 drivers for Team RTR right there. Again, it is the driver right now in the lead for Swim Sick With It Motorsports, Jeff Sickles' team, and Adam Newbert taking them to school. But you got to wonder, though, Adam, got a long race to go. Pardon the pun, one Adam to another Adam. And bottom line, you want to pace yourself for this 150-lapper, no doubt.
Almost definitely you want to pace yourself. And I wonder if that is what Red's doing, is he just biding his time, not wanting to race the 4 too hard right now, saving those tires, wanting to kind of be patient, see what line that 4 is running, maybe take some cues from him. But you also don't want to just follow the leader either.
Yeah, you don't want to follow the leader, but I really do think it's just too early right now to try to go for, if you will, the gusto of trying to rush quickly to get to the front. You got to pace yourself. And honestly, Daniel, a former Legends of iRacing yourself, I'm sure you've been put in that scenario as well. You know, you don't want to overexert yourself and use the car up on handling and tires in the early going as we're only on lap number 20 of 150 laps.
Yeah, so back in my racing days when I used to run these late model races in the truck series part-time, I would always try to run up towards the front. That's what my mind would always tell me. Go up to the front, show what you can do right away. But as I did that time and time again, I always used the tires up in the beginning of the race, and that hurt my car's handling when I was progressing throughout the race, and then I wasn't there towards the end when I should to. So what I would give these advice to drivers is stay cool, calm, and collective. Don't push it in the beginning of this race. Wait and see how your car's handling, and if you got anything, try it at the end, and then maybe it'll work.
Yeah, thank you so much to everybody that's joining us on the coverage. You can communicate with us in that chat box. Got any questions, comments, concerns? Pass it along to the NASRA Racing social media handles. Of course, we're available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NASRA_racing. And, of course, hit that YouTube subscribe button to follow all the great coverage of racing on Monday night, Tuesday night now with the new Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Car Series. You've got now the NASRA podcast on Wednesday, and Friday night the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Man, I'm disappointed because Adam Flieger, it seems like the 2 sanctioning groups that I was going to be the lead for are another one bites the dust. The Millie's Next Gen Cup deal flopped on Sunday night, and I'm understanding that the championship was decided for the Over-the-Top Designs Xfinity Series program on Thursday. Oh.
That is what I'm understanding, which is a bummer because I know coming through the playoff stretch of the season, I thought I was going to be racing more. But I know as we're watching Blake Lilting through here, I understand that he is a real-life driver of some sort of car and just taking it easy, kind of just pacing himself back here towards the middle of the pack.
Yeah, by the way, Blake Lothian is somebody you better keep an eye on. I was just going to hit on that. Cody Knott read my mind, my producer. He gave me some information and notes while he's also directing. But, yes, he is a full-time driver in the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, late model stock car in the Pro Late Model Series, of course, that is now being operated by, of course, Keely Dubisky and you know, Jack McNally, longtime friends. But now you've got, you know, the great folks of Justin Marks with Trackhouse. You've got Kevin Harvick, you've got Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr., now the owners of the Cars Tour. And I'll be honest with you, Daniel, that's the reason why the new creation unveiling of this sim car was launched for the new Cars Late Model Stock Car Series, and to possibly prepare for something like this on the iRacing platform in the future.
Yeah, for sure. You know, they did this to see how it would handle, and it would get more people involved with the series, you know. If they wanted to actually go out and race, maybe they can learn off of iRacing and potentially use that in the future if they get an opportunity.
And again, Blake Lothian, the driver, actually competes in the Cars Tour. He was around my neck of the woods a couple of weeks ago for their lid lifter at Southern National in Kenley. By the way, that's a racetrack that we'll cover for the Pultz Poppers NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series later on in the year, as well as so many others. And by the way, let's just real quickly, as we're still in a long green flag run here in the opening green flag start of 34 of 150 laps, let's just give you some of the races that are on schedule. Next week, New Smyrna Speedway, the home of the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. They're going to go 150 laps again. North Wilkesboro Speedway, coming up on April 25th. I'll be back for you for that one. Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip will be 100 laps on May the 2nd. And then, of course, South Boston, Hickory, Stafford, Nashville, the 300-lap All-Star Race. I love the fact that these are all real short tracks across America, Adam Flieger, that you're going to be checking out every Tuesday night with the new Pultz Popper NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series here.
Well, maybe you would be, but not me, as I would be usually taken up by another series, so I'll have to catch the broadcast on a later time frame. But, yeah, great tracks to be at. I definitely enjoy the short track racing.
By the way, Adam, Daniel, you might want to get out of iRacing retirement for this one, understanding that the All-Star race at North Bay paying $200 to the winner. At Nashville, my apologies, at Nashville, the All-Star race is non-points May 30th. That's the Monday after Memorial Day, or the Tuesday after Memorial Day. 300 laps, $200 to the winner. Who's going to get out of the broadcast booth and bell on me to go race?
I mean, I don't know. I might have to trade my suit in for a racing suit and get in a car and start heading some laps there.
Yeah, it'll be fun for sure. And again, if you are interested in wanting to be a part of what's going on, join the NASRA Racing family, whether it's with the new Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. By the way, I know the car count only has 14 drivers here tonight, but I'm understanding that people had prior obligations, prior commitments of what's going on, and this series will increase. It will grow for next week and the weeks to come, no doubt about it. I'm Wesley Outlet. Adam Flieger is alongside Daniel Paulus Jr. We're joining you in the broadcast booth. Cody Dodd is handling our production and giving us cheat notes around the way as well. And we welcome you to round number one of the Pultz Poppers NASRA Late Model Stock Car Series on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. It's Georgia's Adam Newbert for Swim. Sick With It Motorsports out in front over the RTR Esports entry of Rhett Tucker, Animal House entry, of course, of Barnett. That's the way the top three is. Keep on with the top five. That is Nathan Rogue. Dwayne Crowder is fifth. Adam, if you want to give the bottom five of the top 10, go ahead, my friend.
Alrighty, we got Scott Griffin there in sixth. The number 23 is Stephen Thomas is in seventh. Robert Richards is in eighth. Trey Pitts is in ninth. Nicholas Menard is in 10th. And I know we talked about him before, that Blake Lothian is sitting just outside the top 10 in 11th position.
All of this transpiring now with, again, the man up in front again of Newbert. Tucker, again, Barnett. All these drivers hanging in there in the top 10 in the back spot. Of course, of the 14 drivers, including Nicholas Maynard, Martin Huntsman Jr., Brandon Bullock, and John Michael Bryant. One driver did not start, and that's Eric Thornton. TJ Moore, by the way, is the race director for the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. And just like that, remember we talked about this, Daniel. You're literally moving in to lap 50. We're about to be 100 laps to go here in just a few moments at Pensacola. And a new leader. Tucker get back in front of Newbert.
Yeah, we weren't kidding. When these laps fly by, I mean they fly by really fast. And as you saw right there is the 99 of Tucker on the back bumper of that 4-car, and he got around there on the front straightaway to take back the lead. I don't know if he was trying to save his tire wear or what, or he just knew that it was time to start getting going because he knew the laps were winding down pretty quick.
Is that a lap car we're coming up on now?
Yeah, there's lap cars up in the way. I was just going to say that as it looks like the 29 of John Michael Bryant, I was checking time and scoring, is going to lap down as we're approaching 1 lap to go. before 100 laps remaining is what I meant to say in this race. So 100 laps left to go in this race as we're 50 laps into the books. Again, if you want to break this down into 3 stages, you could, though there's no cautions or anything. It is. Again, 50 laps in and 100 to go. You could say 3 50-lap runs. And I'll be honest with you, Adam, probably with about 50 laps to go, that's when you want to start powering to the front.
That sounds about right. And I know you were saying about one ago, well, I think your mindset's always on that stage racing we're so used to here at NASRA, but we are running a little different. It looks like Dwayne Crowder, though, has some front end damage to that 55 machine.
Dwayne Crowder in the 55 up top side there. That's the Top Gun machine up on the outside lane. The 55 now, that's the 13th place driver with a problem on his car. Looking like a front missing on the number 55, and he's coming down to the pit lane, and he will be joining John Michael Bryant on pit road here. I got to be asking you this question. 150 laps. Daniel, can you go the whole distance of the race without pitting, or are we going to have to see them have to pit?
You know, that's a hard call to say because, you know, if these drivers are really pushing it throughout this race, their tires are going to wear down. And we know how short track racing is. Your tires wear down very easily. I think they could be good on fuel. They might be low on fuel. If it was me, I would get a splash of fuel, come in and get a new set of tires maybe once, and you'd be good for the rest of the race. But I think they're going to come down pit road at least one time for tires.
Understanding that the tank is about 250 laps worth, that 0 tire changes are allowed. So let's be honest, if we don't have a plethora of yellow flags, which we've had no cautions yet in this race, then no doubt you'd have another 100 laps left to go for a 250 lap race. But again, the tank is 250 miles, and right now you're going 150 laps in this race. So no doubt about it. I would just say this, Adam Flieger, we're not worried about fuel. But bottom line here, with under 100 to go, 90 coming up here in a few moments, you basically just got to pace yourself and not wear your tires out. And now you look at Rhett Tucker opened up a 1.3 second lead over the driver of Adam Newbert, who's fell back to second.
Newbert has definitely fallen off off of the pace of Rhett Tucker, but I'm just wondering, is Newbert kind of just saving something, trying not to let Tucker get too far out in front, but kind of save something for the end?
Got to wonder that question. Obviously, Daniel Paulus Jr., I know a Legends car is totally different than a late model, hands down, but definitely the same strategy as racing, and you don't want to wear yourself out in the early going, and I think that might be what maybe, Adam Newbert and Steve Barnett, Nathan Rogue, Stephen Thomas, guys that are in the top 5, just kind of playing possum, if you will, and maybe they were expecting a caution flag in some shape or form to come out. But if not, you don't want to wear your car out here in the first 75 laps. And we got a Pultz Popper instant replay of what's happened to the number 55, or the 99, or the 29, I'm sorry, John Michael Bryant. Not sure what lap this was, but John Michael Bryant with a problem as he was trying to get passed by the leader of Adam Newbert, or at least one of the drivers of the top 5, and the 29, and, well, I'm not sure what all this is about here. I don't know what that was about, but anyhow, we were seeing the driver of the 29, John Michael Bryant, get several laps down. Again, he's a handful of laps down. And by the way, Dwayne Crowder has retired from the race again on the damage clock. Right now, 11 laps down. Currently, 2 drivers a lap down. That is Brandon Bullock and Nicholas Maynard. And again, Adam Flieger, Rhett Tucker picking him up and putting him down. We're about to come to the cross flags in a moment.
And we're about 10 laps away from the crossed flags here. Dang it. At 5 flags, sorry. Forget what track I'm at. As Rhett Tucker is definitely picking them up and laying them down here this evening.
Yeah, certainly is. I'll tell you what, Daniel, no doubt about it, buddy. They're just being patient and just knocking off laps one at a time, lap by lap, and so far everything clean and green.
Yeah, no caution so far. You know, they're staying cool, calm, and collected. I don't see any aggression out of everybody. They're just running their own race, and I think they're smooth sailing from here on out.
Rhett Tucker, and well, there you see now the battle going on for the fourth and fifth spot. That's Steve Barnett trying to run down Stephen Thomas, if you will. The West Virginia native of Stephen Thomas will now move that swim entry up to the number 4 position now, getting around the Animal House entry of the 42 of Steve Barnett. Another driver quietly working his way up into the top 10 is the number 48 of Robert Richards. Of course, never count out the driver of the number 48 machine. Again, he's got numerous wins on the NASRA circuit and being a contender, no doubt about it. Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying coverage of the NASRA Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Car Series, don't forget you've also got the Friday night series, the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Remember, Monday night is still the playoffs. I believe I'll be back with you guys at Talladega next Monday night. That's one of them crazy playoff races, if you will. And that will be exciting and fun, no doubt. One of the playoffs to determine who's going to the championship 4. And that will be next Monday night, again, with the Sim Racer Hub Truck Series. And then, of course, don't forget the podcast. They've got it. And I'm sure, Adam, that Cody and Brady will put their minds together in the lab of NASRA to figure out something to replace the Sunday or Thursday series to try to bring it back. I will tell you this. I'm a fan of short track racing, and I don't know if there's anybody out there that will agree or say yay or nay to this, but I'm loving this late model stock car series for NASRA. I'm glad they finally stepped up and done it. I don't think it's ever been done, Adam Flieger, since probably the original year of NASRA in operations back in 2020 when I was one of the people involved in it, and that was with the Outlaw Super Late Model Series with Derek Fulton and some others. But I will tell you this. I would love to see a NASRA ARCA series possibly come to the fold. I'm a fan of the ARCA car. And Adam and Daniel, I would be excited if we saw an open wheel modified series possibly be formed for NASRA. And you know what, Adam? I say let's go to our roots, my friend. Let's create a NASRA Dirt series as well.
I would love to go racing on dirt, or at least be broadcasting the dirt races. It's a whole different feel to the car. Like, I know a lot of these asphalt drivers, your guys are talking about tire wear, about how not to use them up. I need to do the opposite. I need to learn how to use them up.
Yes, for sure. Hey, Daniel, those sound like some pretty cool ideas, right? Hashtag more NASRA short tracks, dirt and pavement.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually running the Wheel and Modified series here on NASRA, you know?
Yeah!
With really cool cars to watch. Even the ARCA Menard series, you know, I wouldn't mind that. You know, we can run all kind of tracks, you know? The ARCA Menard series, they run short tracks. They run up to super speedways like once or twice throughout the season and have a mix of different tracks. Instead of all these big tracks in the ARCA cars that we do originally, we can have maybe like 2 super speedways, a couple mile-and-a-half tracks, and then the rest of them be like short tracks like North Wilkesboro, New Smyrna, Thompson. We can go to these famous short tracks and add them into those schedules.
And I'll tell you what, we're seeing some drivers coming onto the pit lane. Toccoa, Georgia native for swim, Adam Newbert is on pit road. This might be an unscheduled pit stop, or actually these are scheduled pit stops, as some of these drivers are either taking on new tires or filling up fuel. But again, we talked about this. Tank can go 250 laps. So I'm wondering why they're coming to the pits here in a green flag run, Adam Flieger.
I'm trying to figure it out as well, since, like you said, they can run 250 laps on a tank, but there's no tires that they can change, so they're stuck with the same tires throughout this entire race.
I'm wondering if they came down to the pit lane, Daniel Paulus, to make some adjustments and do some things on the handling or setup, as now the leader, Tucker, is coming down pit road. I'll tell you what, let's follow the pit stop for the Memphis, Tennessee driver and follow his pit stall and see if they're going to be actually changing tires or what type of work is going on right now, because I'm actually thinking it might just be going in to making an adjustment or making setups as Brandon Bullock is on the pit road. Here comes some more cars coming down onto the pit lane as Lothian now, Blake Lothian hits his pit stall. Are they having to make at least one mandatory pit stop. I want to apologize. I apologize to everybody tuning in. I haven't really had a chance to read the rule book per se because I literally just got thrown into this broadcast and literally just got through into the broadcast channel tonight. But I will tell you this, as I'm being told here now that they are taking on fuel. I assume that they would be good, so maybe they can't go 250 laps. Maybe there's a cap limit on the fuel, but we're hearing that drivers are coming in for fuel. But one thing for certain, we'll definitely get a copy of the rules and whatnot, as here comes now Crowder coming back down to the pit lane. It may be due to a fixed setup. I got you. Definitely. This is a fixed setup series. It's not an open series, so there might be some rules and things that are being in there. And by the way, this is our first race. We'll get it right. We'll definitely do our best to give you more of the information here. But I'll just be honest. I don't know why they were coming down to the pit lane. But again, there might be a little cross information of not being able to go a tank at a 250 lap race. I don't know. But anyhow, all of this is going on. And we are approaching lap number 87. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's step away. We're still in a green flag run. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we can try to have a little bit more better clarification for you on what's going on with the race format. And, of course, we will come back in just a quick moment. And if anything goes crazy or chaotic, we'll break in. Again, this is the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series and the NRE Power Systems 150 just after halfway from virtual Five Flags Speedway. We'll be back on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Welcome back. Coverage of the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Jeff Sickles. I told you we get clarification for you during the commercial break as we take you to the final 55 laps to the finish of the NRE Power Systems 150. And that is this. The late model stocks, the new late models, are only allowed to get close to 90 to 95 laps on a fuel run. So there is the reason right there, Adam Flieger, why we saw drivers coming down to the pit lane. Now, usually I cover the iRacing super late models. This is a new late model stock car iRacing chassis and sim for us, as well as many others. A super late model can go up to 200 laps on a green flag fuel run, but this is new for us. As I said, thank you for the clarification again with Jeff Sickles giving us that. It can only go between 90 to 95 laps. You're going to have to make a pit stop to take on fuel. So, Adam Flieger, that's the reason why we saw all these drivers coming down to the pit lane.
That would be, as we're coming up here to about lap 100 as they cross the stripe this time with Rhett Tucker out front by a pretty good margin at the moment.
By the way, again, all of this going on here as we work down with Rhett Tucker on the Speedway. He is the leader. By the way, Blake Lothian has moved up to the number 2 spot. Of course, the driver of the number 59, he's only 8 seconds back. Only is a big word. 8 seconds for Blake Lothian again as the driver also for Swim, Sick With It Motorsports, and the full-time racer of the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour is right there sitting in the number 2 position. You've also got Robert Richards there up 9 spots in third. Daniel, the game falling into place here now. You've had these green flag runs, no cautions. Racing has been your take, entertaining, or is it about to fire up here for the final 50?
It's been entertaining, but I think the aggression's going to start pumping up now. Now these drivers did their green flag pit stops. They know what the track feels like. They know what their cars are handling. So now it's time to get going, time to buckle down, start pushing your way up to the front. But I want to talk about the 99 of Tucker. He's been strong all night. I mean, were you guys predicting possibly of him winning tonight?
I'll be honest with you. I had my money on either Adam Newbert or Stephen Thomas. And let me explain to you why. And Adam, I'm sure you can elaborate when I give you my answer as well. Those drivers have just been electric, and they've been dominant in all of the iRacing NASRA coverage that I've followed on whether Thursday or Monday night or even Friday with a Triple M Pulling Series. You want to get a stat here. Swim driver from Toccoa, Georgia, Adam Newbert is actually off the pace of the number 4. And I think, Daniel, you just gave him the announcer jinx as Newbert is coming down pit road. But I will say this, though. Adam Newbert had a phenomenal Adam Flieger month of February or March where he pocketed close to $500 of Nazareth Brady LaBeouf's money.
It was the month of February. Like you said before, I'm usually in the production booth giving you all the great camera angles that Cody's given us tonight. And it was something to watch him. He maneuvered really, really well through the month of February. Kind of had a dry spell a little bit through March, but he is coming back right now. He is definitely fighting for them points on Monday night, I believe it is.
Yeah, we'll see how all that develops here as right now you're going to go on board with the driver that's leading the way for RTR Esports. Memphis, Tennessee driver Rhett Tucker, fastest lap of the race so far, 17.241, as he is the man that everybody is gunning for. As DPJ, they come to the line, and we are closing in on 40 laps to go. And again, a caution-free NRE Power Systems 150 here at Virtual 5 Flag Speedway. But it's been a good race. It's been a lot of strategy, hands down.
It's a lot of strategy during these short track races. You never know what's going to happen. Your car could be handling terribly the first half of the race, and then you make that one pit stop and your car feels completely different, and that could be good or bad for you during the second half of the race. But as you saw as we went on board there with Tucker, you know how he's heading into the turns. He's entering the middle lane, he's staying in the middle lane, his car's not washing up on the track, and it's just handling where the car's rotating enough for him to get a good exit.
All of this, again, taking place here. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook, it says M testing, but this actually is flag-to-flag coverage of the NRE Power Systems 150 here from the Virtual 5 Flag Speedway in Pensacola. Next week, I don't know who'll be back on the play-by-play, but they'll bring somebody in, and we'll be back with you for round number 2 next week, of course, in a 15-race series. Next week is at New Smyrna Speedway. Also coming up, again, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, again, all of these races on the horizon. Remember, the Nashville All-Star race will be on Memorial Day weekend, $200 to win. That's the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So now you've got, well, I don't think they do the Grand Prix of Monaco anymore for Formula One, but you used to have race day Sunday for Memorial Day, which included the Indianapolis 500-mile race, the greatest spectacle in racing, the NASCAR endurance race, that's the Coca-Cola 600, and then, of course, also in addition to that, Now you've got this big race for $200 to win for the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. We're getting information that drivers are blowing tires on the racetrack. We're trying to get details and information on it, and man, oh man, this is the situation we're getting with hearing that drivers are blowing tires on the racetrack, Adam Flieger. This is not good.
No, not good at all.
Tires being blown, and they're somehow trying to survive and go to the end of this race. As right now, Rhett Tucker, the leader, Lothian second. Richards 1, 2, and 3. That's the way it stands on track. We're going to take one more commercial break. We got to thank our sponsors. Thanks to Hoopty's Garage, Butt Kicker, NRE Power Systems, and of course, Sim Racer Hub and Pultz Poppers. We take you to the finish from Five Flags Speedway when we return. Well, we're ready to bring this one to the finish to you. Welcome back to coverage of the NASRA Racing 360 Racing Network. I'm Wesley Outland. Adam Newbert, Adam Flieger is alongside. We've got Daniel Paulus Jr. as well. Cody Dodd is working on the broadcast for tonight's broadcast of the NRE Power Systems 150. And TJ Moore is handling our broadcast coverage as race director as well. Adam, speaking from one Adam to the other, that was why I had Adam Newbert on the brain. Understanding drivers are popping tires, and that is why they're dropping off like flies here.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how much Rhett Tucker, Blake Lothian, and Robert Richards save their tires, as they're the last three drivers, I think, on track or on the lead lap, rather.
We're being told unofficially that Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, and Brandon Bullock may be good. They're trying so hard to just conserve and reset. And by the way, just been told in clarification during the radio or during the commercial timeout that they're going to work on Daniel, trying to make things differently, whether we have to have a 50-lap green flag run and have stages where cautions are thrown to let people change tires, to be able to have not these problems. This is a growing series. This is their first lid lifter, if you will. There's going to be some growing pains before we have hierarchy and celebration with this program when it's all said and done. Work with NASRA. They're going to work with you. By the way, I say tip of the cap to Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott. We come to 20 to go, and again, this is a new series, and again, but their record proceeds to show, and again, look at the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. They're going on 7 years seasons of existence. 7 seasons of existence since 2020. And they do that, Daniel Paulus, because they literally will take the good, the bad, and the ugly. They'll work on it, they'll transform it, and they'll try to make this a very exciting series for everybody to join in.
Yeah, and like you said, there are going to be growing pains, you know. We don't know, this is the first time that we're running this new type of chassis, so we don't know how the cars are going to handle. We don't know how the tire wear is going to handle. We do know that the tires will wear down, we always know that, but we didn't expect the tires to pop. So that's something new that we learned, so we're going to look into that, and we're going to see how we can make it better for these drivers and for the series in the future.
Understanding that possibly Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, and Brandon Bullock are going to be good to go possibly to the finish of this race. We'll see how this all transpires, as right now it is Rhett Tucker leading the way. They're going to try to set their sights to run down the man up in front. By the way, Blake Lothian is, for swim, getting faster. The interval is now 2.2 seconds. Robert Richards is third, 18 seconds back on the interval to the leader. And by the way, Adam Flieger, only 3 cars are on the lead lap as we go to 15 to go at Pensacola.
And as I'm watching the action here on track, it could very well become 2 cars on the lead lap as Rhett Tucker is at the back bumper of Robert Richards.
He certainly is, and trying to possibly put him a lap down. Then Robert Richards could possibly try to play blocker and give a fit to the driver of Rhett Tucker, and this could possibly allow the 59 of Blake Lothian to try to reel him in. There's the interval now. He's getting closer and closer, Daniel Paulus Jr., as they go in the corner, and the leader is stuck with lap cars around him.
And that's the worst thing about here on short tracks. You don't want to get stuck behind the slow cars, you know, the lap down cars, because that's going to hold you up, and that's going to let the second place come closer and closer to you and gain on you. And here's the thing, now, are we seeing the 99? Did we see him use all his tire wear up? Is that why the 59 of Lothian is making ground on this 99? Or is he letting the 59 gain up on him on purpose, so then when they do battle, there's any way he can possibly get the 59 behind him again?
Ready to settle into the finish. By the way, I know this race has been flag to flag, but we have certainly enjoyed bringing it to you here, no doubt. And again, next week, the series will make their way again next week to New Smyrna Speedway. 10 laps to go. Remaining in the NRE Power Systems 150, Rhett Tucker is the leader. Blake Lothian losing ground on him as he cleared by the lap car of Robert Richards. There's only 2 cars on the lead lap, Adam, as they come to the line and move to single digits on the track.
I'm still showing 10 laps to go here. Oh, no, there it goes. There it changed to 9 laps to go here at 5 Flags with Rhett Tucker out front and Blake Lothian trying to chase him down, but I just don't know if he's got the time.
By the way, we're understanding Stephen Thomas has blew his tire, the West Virginia swim driver. Another driver bites the dust as Newbert goes out for swim, and now so does Stephen Thomas. What a phenomenal win they had. So now it's all up to Blake Lothian from the Commonwealth to try to run down. Meanwhile, Robert Richards will not be denied, Daniel. He's trying to get back on the lead lap, and he's trying to also cause a fit for Tucker.
Yeah, as you see the 48 trying to unlead.
No, Lothian in trouble. Oh, no, Blake just blew his tire. He's off the pace, the number 59.
Oh, man. Now this concerns me. Now what happens if the 99 gets a flat tire? This is really concerning me.
Well, you're going to have to pace yourself, no doubt about it. I'll tell you this much now, my friend Daniel and Adam, as we move into 5 laps to go, you have 1 car on the racetrack that's a lap down, and that is the driver of Robert Richards, okay? Blake Lothian is now just trying to pedal his way around the racetrack with a blown tire just to try to go to the finish. The interval is now back to 5 seconds to Rhett Tucker. Robert Richards is now 17 seconds back as he is again trying to stay on the lead lap, if you will, in front of Rhett Tucker. You got to wonder, Adam, as we come to 4 to go, Rhett Tucker might now be slowing down, playing possum, so he don't blow a tire to go to the finish.
With him having such a gap there over second place, I might be trying to do the same thing just to make sure I can get that car over the finish line in that first position to bring home that win.
Shades of the Hourglass going short for the inaugural running of the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series at Five Flags Speedway in virtual Pensacola. Rhett Tucker trying to survive the tire chaos moments, as right now the 99 is up in front. He's got 2 laps to go, Daniel, as they work their way to the back straightaway. Well, actually, right now they're working into turn number 3 and 4. They're going to come to the line. White flag is going to go in the air. 1 more lap to go. Final time around for the Memphis, Tennessee driver, the Advanced Auto Parts 99 Ford. History is made. Caution free in the NRE Power Systems 150, and the inaugural winner of the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series goes to Rhett Tucker for RTR Esports. Second spot will go to Blake Lothian, finally crossing the line now. 8 seconds back on a blown tire. Robert Richards will somehow stay on the lead lap, guys, and finish 3rd. And as you look at the rest of the unofficial results, pending any type of rule changes or disqualifications or penalties from the NASRA officials in post, Stephen Thomas will finish 4th, 1 lap down. Brandon Bullock 2 laps down. And then it's going to be, of course, Nathan Rogue, Martin Hutzman Jr., Steve Barnett, Scott Griffin, Adam Newbert right now, Adam, the top 10 when the checkered flag fell.
That is your top 10. I think a little farther back in 11th is going to finish Trey Pitts. Nicholas Maynard will finish 12th. Dwayne Crowder will finish 13th. John Michael Bryant 14th. And Eric Thornton, I don't think he took the track, and will finish 15th.
And again, big thanks to TJ Moore, the race director, Cody Knott, again, the series official for the NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. They're going to get this figured out. They're going to get it fixed. And again, when it's all said and done, Rhett Tucker, winner of round number 1 of the NRE Power Systems 150. I'll be honest with you, Daniel, whenever we started seeing these drivers making these pit stops before lap 100, we were truly puzzled because what's going on here? Obviously, there's some things that they've got to work on, but in the end, I think this race was very entertaining with the strategy of course, trying to keep from blowing your tire, but secondly, going flag to flag here tonight at Pensacola.
Yeah, I mean, the race was very entertaining tonight. Even though we didn't see any extra cautions, we did see some excitement, you know? We saw some tires blow towards the end of the race on a few of the drivers' cars. It was unexpected. We didn't see that coming. It's a new series. It's a new chassis, you know? We're still trying to get used to it. We're seeing how the cars work up. You've seen the 99 still burning down. Congratulations to Tucker here on a good night. He's led a lot of laps. And I can't wait to see what this next race is going to be like. You know, there might be a few changes. We don't know. Depends on the race officials, but I can't wait to see the next one.
And I'll tell you what, again, as I said, if there's anybody that's frustrated out there, just try to work with NASRA and the sanctioning body. Hands down, they're going to get it right. This is only race number 1, and for this new sim league for this car for sure build, it's only been around for maybe over a month, if that, for sure. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try to grab a word with the drivers of Rhett Tucker, Blake Lothian, Robert Richards. Stick with us. Of course, the Millie's Restaurant and Catering post-race wrap-up here for the Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series at Five Flags Speedway is on deck when we come back from timeout. Congratulations again, Rhett Tucker winning tonight, flag to flag, here at Five Flags Speedway. Welcome back to the Millie's Restaurant and Catering post-race wrap-up. By the way, if you're ever in the Daytona area in Florida off of US 1, check out Millie's Restaurant and Catering. They have phenomenal food that you'll absolutely love with phenomenal prices as well. Wesley Outlet, Adam Flieger, Daniel Paulus Jr. on the broadcast call. Cody Nutt, again, working on the broadcast behind the scenes, and the race director for this event for the NRE Power Systems is TJ Moore. Let's go now and grab our third place finisher, the driver of the number 48 machine, surviving somehow with a good run in the end to finish in third. That is the driver of Robbie Richards. And for some reason, I can't bring him in, guys. I can't. Help me. Yeah. Well, everybody stand by. We're trying to get these drivers. Just stand by. We'll get you here in just a moment again. There we go. Third place man, Robbie Richards, the number 2. Robbie, third place, tires popping, new series. What'd you think of the new car for the Cars late model stocks in this Pultz Popper late model debut at Five Flag Speedway, flag to flag green?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun saving tires. I believe that we're going to have an extra set, which I already know it's already been talking about giving an extra set for future races. But yeah, I mean, it was all about saving tires. You know, I knew going in, you know, that it was going to have to be saving tires strong from start. You know, and I was actually informed that, and y'all maybe can or cannot confirm this, that the heat races, you can still use your tires up and it carries over to the race. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. So I played it safe just to be safe on the safe side. It was a lot of fun though. You know, people popping tires left and right. I had for myself, I had checked it at the end. I had 6% on the right front left. So I was next. I probably wouldn't have made another 2 or 3 laps. So, but overall, man, it was a fun race. I'm glad they started this series. Huge thanks to Cody for getting on board with it and getting things going. Putting a lot of time in it and a lot of effort, and just, you know, has he got a lot of potential to be fun. I mean, you know, you don't really leave nobody. You know, everybody kind of stays together. You got more stability in the car. You can drive it harder. You know, it's got potential to be a lot of fun. We just need to get some guys in here but green. You know, first race going green to green. It was overall a fun race.
Yeah, it was. Daniel Paulus, you got a question for Robbie Richards, the third place driver.
Yeah, so Robert, what were you thinking when this race first started and how your car was gonna handle?
In practice, man, I was fairly slow, to be honest with you. But going into heat races, like I said, I was saving just in case it did carry over. I wasn't sure. And then in the start of the race, I wanted to just chill out, kind of run in the back, but kind of keep them with me, and base it from there. And then I kind of started seeing some of the front guys pop tires and start getting the meatball flag. And then I started realizing that as we went going on, I should probably save a little harder and a little harder. And I just pretty much nursed it to the end. The car, I mean, it stuck to the track. So I mean, it drove great. You know, I haven't ran this track very much. But overall, man, it was, you know, the setup was really great for these cars. It's just you had to go extremely slow into the turn. You couldn't do really no diving, going in deep or nothing like that, or you was just gonna kill it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Robbie, and I'll say this. I've always been told as a senior broadcaster veteran, you got to know the rules. You got to know the driver's information, and most of all, you got to know the format. And as I said, I think in closing, we could segue this to you thanking your sponsors, being on the podium in third. Though it was a little hiccups of things that they're working on, growing pains, if you will. This is a new car. This is a new build for iRacing. They are going to get this right. NASRA will,
yeah.
as I said in their defense, they're going on 7 seasons with the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, and that's their baby. They're going to work on making this be a late model stock success too.
Oh yeah, 100%. I ain't even worried about that. I know they're gonna get this thing under control. Cody's a big short track racing guy, so he knows the ins and outs of it. So you know, it's to be expected having some hiccups along the way. It's a new series, and we're going to bring guys in, and we're going to have a hell of a time. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I am so glad that they started this. But
Sponsors,
yeah,
buddy.
so Millie's Landing, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Daryl's Nail Gun, Millie's Restaurant, the guys at Swim, man. Thanks for Adam bringing me on board. Jeff, if you're watching, Nate, if you're watching, man, I hope you feel better. He had a little eye issue today, so I hope he gets to feeling better. We're gonna have to have him in our Monday night series. So, but yeah, thank you guys for the broadcast, for doing what y'all do and taking the time and broadcasting the series.
Certainly welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a couple of NASCAR wins under his credit. The driver, the number 48, Robert Richards. Again, for Sick With It Motorsports, he will settle for the number 3 position here tonight. Another swim podium at least for second and third. And now we'll get ready to grab the runner-up of the race. The driver of the number 59 machine, Blake Lothian. I still can't move him, guys, for some reason. I don't understand why. We're going to grab Blake Lothian again from the Commonwealth of Virginia, the driver also for Sick With It Motorsports. Blake, it's always good to catch up with you, buddy, whether it's at the real races with the Cars Tour like we do at Southern National, Florence, and more. And, of course, in the iRacing world, you're second here tonight. Your take of the debut of the Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car NASCAR Series, my friend.
Yes, so I definitely love the series. I mean, this is the place to be in a race like model stocks, my opinion, because of how much tire saving feels just like the car store. How much you just gotta, I'm not sure if y'all followed me from the beginning, where I just kind of dropped straight to the tail and just saved the entire night into the last like 25, 50 laps, and I actually accidentally underfueled 2 laps. I underfueled by 2 laps in the pit stop, green flag pit stop, and I ended up having to try to save some fuel while trying to nurse the tires. So that was pretty fun race. I just hope we have like a halfway yellow or something.
Daniel Paulus, I believe, has he left, Cody? I believe Daniel Paulus Jr. has left for the night, I guess. I don't know. I can't find him. Our colleague, intern broadcaster, so we'll try to see if we can hang with you again for another couple of questions. Blake, man, just somehow, some way, just getting there at the end, especially with the tires popping and having to take on fuel. Do you think that NASCAR maybe needs to look at the Cars Tour real rule book, my friend, that you run with, and maybe try to find ways to mimic it? Or do you think that obviously they got to go back to the drawing board and fix some things here, but you got to be overall pleased with it?
Oh, I'm definitely pleased. I mean, but also there's definitely things you can look to from the car store. And the car store is an amazing series. I mean, 125 lap races where I think it's 40 and 40 lap intervals, and then a yellow. And I think for Southern Nationals, like if there's a 40 or 50 lap run, there's a yellow that comes out.
Yes.
I love that. And then personally, shortening the races by a little bit, I think it'd be a good idea. Like 125, we could run those in real life and not blow tires. I think that would just come down to mostly skill instead of just dropping to the tail and saving.
Yeah, Blake, it's kind of funny that you say the same thing, because me and Cody Knott had this commercial during the radio timeout or the TV timeout on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network of they normally run like 50 laps or 60 laps, and then they put out a caution flag. And again, that's not to make the race say that it's boring, Blake. That's just to make the race exciting for the fans. And the fans is the audience of people that are watching iRacing on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, just like you're seeing in the grandstands at a real race.
100%. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to pamper to the fans. How NASCAR's implemented stage racing, stuff like that. So I think definitely at least a halfway at the very least is required. And maybe, if we have the halfway yellow, maybe not subtract the amount of laps. But I think if we run this full, 150 laps for most of the races, at least have the 40 or 50 laps with yellow.
Daniel, you got a question for Blake, buddy? Welcome back.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations, Blake. It's been fun watching you all evening tonight. You were really close to that first one here in the new series, and I can't wait to see you race next week.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Wesley. I mean, y'all are great at broadcasting. I mean, really, really good. Listen to the broadcast of the entire race. Had it on my TV right next to me, listening to it, trying to see if I could learn about how much Rhett was pushing and trying to trying to figure out how much I needed to save. So I really appreciate all the insights throughout the broadcast and how well produced the broadcast is.
And of course, if people don't know, the 20-year-old, of course, not only running for the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, he's got a couple of starts in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as well from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Of course, that's the driver of Blake Lothian again for Swim. Stick with it, Motorsports. He'll be second here tonight of the NRE Power Systems 150. Let's go to Victory Lane and RTR Esports getting the victory. Rhett Tucker now joins us in Victory Lane as he is the historic first ever winner for the new NASRA Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. Rhett, you survived. You're taking this race.
What's up, Leslie?
What's up, my
All right.
friend? Congratulations.
Hey, cheers, brother. I'll drink to that.
So, your take of this race here tonight, and you survive as the first ever winner of the Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Series.
I'm very surprised. Not only was the whole tire ordeal a surprise, but that I wound up not blowing one is the biggest surprise. I'm never good at saving tires. I don't. All right, so look, let me rewind. I gotta thank my buddy Jared at Florida Premier Consulting Group, because without him, I wouldn't have been here on this badass new Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel. And because of this wheelbase, I can literally feel when my tires are slipping and losing grip. So because of that, I knew how hard I could push my car without melting my tires off.
Interesting. Daniel Paulus with the winner, Rhett Tucker.
Hey, Rhett, it's been an awesome race here Tuesday night. I wanted to congratulate you on the first podium here for this new series. How was your car handling throughout this race, and what do you think for the upcoming races?
It was a blast. I love these cars. I thought it handled very, very good. Up until probably 40 to go, I think about lap 110, I kept questioning my buddy in Discord, like, did I blow my tire because this thing's shaking my house to the ground? It felt very rough and violent. So, but I knew just let off before it starts feeling that bad, and hopefully I could nurse it to the end, and it wound up working.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say I love how these things handle. They're a blast. They're like go-karts, you know.
Rhett, to elaborate on that, I was going to say that you're probably one of the original racers that I remember back in the year 2020 when NASRA was founded, ironically, back in the summer. Now going in about 3 years of existence with Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott heading up this series. But what can you say about the knowing that they're going to address this, knowing that there was already conversations within the sanctioning body about this hiccups and whatnot, even while you were still on racetrack getting ready to win this thing?
I at that point I just went into like survival, but on the outside of the race, like I'm excited. I know there's been talks in the iRacing forums about maybe iRacing putting together like a B class, or I don't know, C or B class cars tour, fixed late model stock series in officials, because there's different stages to these tires, right? And I think it's very important that everybody gets to experience that. You don't get to experience that in a short little official race, but when they do that, I think maybe we'll be able to figure out how to balance, tires and laps and all that.
All right. Well, Bud, final question, and I'll let you thank your sponsors and segue. What does it mean to be the inaugural winner of this series?
I'm very honored, man. That's killer. I honestly wasn't even sure if I was going to be in here, and I was like, nah, I gotta do it. So jumped in here. Appreciate Nathan Rogie coming and running with me. It was good racing out there. It was a lot of fun. It was clean, close racing, short tracks. It's a blast. I hope we can recruit some more drivers and keep the field big. We got 25 more spots on the grid to fill.
For sure. Sponsors, buddy, we'll let you go.
First and foremost, gotta thank NRE Power Systems, Pultz Poppers, them, everybody at Nazareth for doing this. You guys, killer broadcast. FPCG, Malwarebytes, Viral Computers, 213 Simware, and everybody for watching.
The inaugural winner of the NRE Power Systems 150 at the virtual Five Flags Speedway for the inaugural Nazareth Pultz Popper Late Model Stock Car Series, Round 1, the number 99 for RTR Esports out of Memphis, Tennessee, Rhett Tucker, winner. Well, Daniel Paulus, we're going to wrap up our broadcast coverage, buddy, and get off the air. Adam Flieger has already left for the night, but your final thoughts on everything. Listen, there's growing pains. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly from tonight. I think there's a lot more positive than there's the negative, but for sure, I think this series is going to be exciting. It's going to be something to be a part of, and they're already planning to make changes for round number 2 next week at New Smyrna Speedway. Your final thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, my final thoughts here tonight was it was an exciting race. I mean, we saw some growing pains. We didn't expect the tires to go down, but it happens. That's the part of the new series. You know, I thought it was a great series, even though there wasn't cautions and whatnot. There's probably going to be cautions throughout the season. It just didn't happen tonight. These drivers stayed cool, calm, and collective, and I can't wait to see what they can do next week.
Again, the final is Rhett Tucker winning the inaugural flag-to-flag, caution-free NRE Power Systems 150. For Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott, everybody at Nazareth, thanks to race director TJ Moore, also Cody Knott behind the scenes on the broadcast production. For Adam Flieger, Daniel Paulus Jr., I'm Wesley Outland. Thanks for tuning in to Nazareth's coverage of the inaugural Pultz Poppers Late Model Stock Car Series. We'll see you next week at virtual New Smyrna Speedway. And congratulations in closing again to Rhett Tucker, the winner here tonight in Pensacola.